Hello and welcome back to more developer time trials, but before we do that, gotta do at least one of these. Right, I forgot we were using this. Luna, I'm gonna tackle you, baby girl. There's a lot of space between the mic and the computer you can squeeze through. I love you, baby girl. Love you a lot. But you can't do that to us. You gotta be a precious little fur baby and help us out here. The Golden Wumpa Rush. The Golden Luna Rush. Luna. Hi. Also, wait, did I even say hi? Welcome in, everyone, to another CTR Nitro Fueled stream. We're inching closer and closer to completion every single stream. And it's really nice, honestly. Also, I mentioned this earlier. I mentioned this a while back, but even after we get all the skins for Fixed Real Root here, we're still gonna do the cups one difficulty at a time, because I think it'll be a good way for us to always continually have some sort of progress on stream until we have everything completed. At least that's my hope. And honestly, sitting here playing this right now, I feel like there's a good chance we could actually beat the dev time today for Thunderstruck, but it's still gonna be real rough. We're just gonna have to wait and see what happens, though. That was actually a really good, like, little loop right around that. So it's really nice knowing, like, we have over half the tracks done, dev time wise. Like, legitimately, we're over halfway done with them. Let's do this. I just wonder, like, what are the chances that we actually finish all of them by the end of October? I want to say we could, but I don't know if we actually will. Aw. I could have lapped the entire lobby. No! In fact, I didn't. But, legitimately, I do think... Lena, give me that paw. I do think we can actually beat them all. It'd be nice to be able to say we got down to the final 10, though. I really hope we can say that before October 1st. So we only have one other night of dev time trials before then. And I'll count and see how many we have remaining. I think it's like 15 or 16 or something like that. We're like inching closer and closer to single digits. Luna, why are you watching me like this? Oh, I love you, baby girl. I'm surprised how much you've been hanging out with me the past couple days. You're such a good girl, aren't you? Yeah. I love you, Luna. You're precious little fur baby. Lucky, I haven't forgotten about you. I love you too. You're fantastic. I'm glad I got y'all. Let's get these races in. We'll actually see if we can buy something from the pit stop as well. I don't know if we'll actually be able to afford anything, but you never know. I gotta say too, it's kind of surprising how late I actually got on here. But something came up and I was talking to somebody for a little bit, and I kept procrastinating on eating before that, and I needed to get food right whenever I was talking with this person. And I was just like, I can get it after. And so I had to quickly shower and eat after 8. But hey, it is what it is. Also, very nice. Wait, I literally just lost it. Ah, my blue fire, that is. I lost it. Also, I gotta say, I thought this track would have been a lot harder than it was for us to actually beat the dev time on. But I'm glad that we actually got it. Because, that means we don't have to worry about it anymore. But I'm very curious as to how they're gonna set up the, Platinum Relics here. And some of these bonus tracks in general where I've just never seen them. Thing is, though, I do think we can beat all of them on hard now. And good news, there have been people that have been like, hey, these are probably going to be a bit easier than what you experienced with the developer times. Which is nice, because that pretty much tells me like, hey, we beat the developer times, so we pretty much already done it. We'll still do it anyway, just for the sake of doing it. But it'll be nice. Oh yeah, I also need to ask somebody. I never asked her if I could do that and when I potentially visited her. But I'll have to figure that out. I might do an extra long stream if that happens. Just to cover everything that's exclusive to the PlayStation side in case I don't get this on PlayStation 4. As much as I want to have this on the Switch and PS4, I don't know if I actually will at this point. Switch is still very likely, I think. But I am curious if, like, Pimp Gira or anybody that has it on the Switch would race me. I think Pimp Gira said he was getting it on the Switch, or he had it on the Switch, because of the stream. Somebody did. Let's go. Whew. Come on. Also, it's really nice knowing that I have this track done too, and Gingerbread Joyride. I figured Gingerbread Joyride would have been like what Thunderstruck is for me right now. I thought it would have been a wall. But thankfully it hasn't really been one. Oh, I missed it. Hi, Professor Fick. How are you doing? Fitch? I think it's Fitch. My brain is like not fully here right now because I'm a tired bean. But things are going pretty well, and I know since the title says Thunderstruck, before I do any dev times, I usually start off with something easy, just as a way to be like, we got some progress tonight, of something at least, no matter what. Even though in the past, before we got to Thunderstruck, I had been beating dev times every night, like multiple dev times. But Thunderstruck is holding me back right now, and we'll be doing it very soon. Is it ever fully here? No, it's not ever fully here. Hi, Pindra. How you doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. You said it right the second time. Okay. I'm glad I did. I'm sorry I messed it up the first time. It is sometimes hard being able to like read and drive in game at the same time. Don't ever do that in real life though. Anything new in this game? Haven't played since they stopped doing Grand Prix. The only new thing they added was the Beanox skin pack. The Beanox skin cart pack, and they added like 5 extra characters. But that was it, and that was back in March. It's still a lot of fun to play in my opinion. And me being the person I am, we're like working on 100%ing the game. Also, I gotta ask, how's it been? Because it's been a long time. At least it feels like it's been a long time. Yeah, I got the platinum for this while ago. I got all the achievements in it, but I'm like literally trying to do everything, even stuff that's not covered by the like a platinum trophy on PlayStation. Because like there were no dev times whenever the trophies came out or achievements came out. There was nothing for getting all platinum relics. There was nothing for getting all the CTR tokens. And I think that's all I have left, besides some skins here and there. I think. Did you get to Hellfire Peaks after I left or not? We did get to Hellfire Peaks. I got extremely lost and we got one Jiggy in like 15-20 minutes of us running around looking. But I got to Hellfire Peaks. I don't remember like Hellfire Peaks as much as I thought I did. Oh, I messed that up real bad. But I was mainly trying to figure out where the moves were. I saw where one move was. We needed to get back there with just Banjo, and I was like, I need to end and start getting food because I was hungry. I was starting to be like, I need the food right now. I'm gonna have to eat more before first stream, I think. Or my body just needs more energy now for some reason. Maybe due to the sleep. Possibly due to the sleep. Because, honestly, I did not have the best sleep last night. I got like 5 hours in. And even then, I think I woke up multiple times. Oh, whoops. Yeah, it's been a while. Things have been... Alright, my streams have been... Hold on. My streams have been screwy lately because my laptop just can't handle the capture card, so I just stream when I can. I gotcha. I'm sorry about that. I know how that is because my PC did that to me a while back and I had to stop streaming for like 3 months at one point earlier this year. Did you murder anyone there yet? I have not murdered anyone there yet. I seem to recall cold-heartedly melting someone in that level, but I don't remember the deets. Or something like that. I don't remember... Oh, I think I remember what you're talking about, but you need access to the final level in the game for that. You don't melt somebody, though. You don't do that. But I do know exactly what you're talking about now. At least I think I do. Is it the Ice Cube couple? The Ice Cubes are actually enemies in the first game. So it doesn't entirely surprise me that that's the thing. Okay, I just remember something real messed up. I'll say it, if you don't mind me saying it. Because I think I remember what it is. Okay, go ahead. Mildred wants her husband, Mildred, I think her name is Mildred, wants her husband George to come back to her. And he's in Cloud Cuckoo Land after a hurricane or a tornado sent him up there. And so you push him off of Cloud Cuckoo Land and he lands on her and they both shatter. Because they're ice. So technically, in a way, you reunited her with her husband, but at the same time, they're just dead. So it's like, couldn't we have done this in a better way? Look at that fixed real rude. But yeah, that was definitely a thing. Here's the thing, I remember like the characters in the world, but I don't remember like what you do in the worlds apparently. I still seriously can't believe I remembered the code for the lock. It had been so long since I played it, and we didn't even see the password at all in the game, I don't think. Oh, we have more than enough money. Let's finish up... Yeah. Well, not finish up, but let's get one of these. Juiced Monster Fake Crash. I just figured it was something like, dang, that's messed up for a cute platforming game. No wonder they made Conquer after it. Actually, it was two different teams in Rare that did Conquer. Or it was a different team that did Conquer, because I watched videos where Chris Seaver and a few other people were talking about Conquer's Bad Fur Day, and they're talking about making Conquer's 12 Tales, and they saw what the Banjo team did, and they're like, crap, they just blew us out of the water with what they did. It was like, we have to do something else entirely with this game. And then plus with the whole Rare getting labeled as all they do is cutesy platformers type thing. Actually, I think whenever they saw the Banjo-Kazooie stuff, that's whenever they put Chris Seaver as the head of that project, and he decided he wanted to take it in a completely different direction. Okay, let's go to the time trials. Hold on, I want to count. I want to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's only 15 left. Thunderstruck. We got Juiced Up Monster Crash. He's brand new to us. We're gonna use Isabella here. With where is it? Yeah, it's down at the bottom. I still like the look of what they finished with 12 Tales. I wouldn't mind it playing the prototype sometime. I wouldn't mind it either. I wonder if they would ever like put it out, because we know that they have more than what they've showed of it before. Or what we know they have more of it than what's been shown before, because in the Rare replay they actually showed off never before seen footage, and I believe they even put up an hour-long gameplay thing up on YouTube somewhere that had even more new footage. I don't think it was Rare that put that up, but I think somebody else did. But there is footage of that game that came out like a couple years ago or something. Also Glover 2, and that's not that it's Rare. From what I recall, it was almost finished. I believe that's right. I believe Glover 2 was almost finished, but it got canceled for some reason. I don't remember what that reason was, but... Luna, you're such a fluffy baby. Front and forward. You can throw a beaker forward. I don't need no beaker. All I need to do is get good. If I could use a beaker on the go, so I wouldn't complain. Come on. Come on. If we can pull this off, I'll be very happy. Come on. No. I thought I had it. I thought I had it. I still think it was hilarious that Monday whenever we did this, I think the first run was the best run that I had. Like, it was the closest one that I had to actually finishing this. I wouldn't mind Glover 2, honestly. I'd never finished Glover 1. I wouldn't mind doing that on stream at some point, but I don't know when that'll actually happen. Also, Glover is like ridiculously hard for me. I remember that much. I never beat it. But who knows? Maybe as an adult I could beat it. No. I open up my phone real quick and I see that chaotic post in the Discord, we're all running late. I was running late because I was actually talking to somebody like before stream and I needed to actually shower and eat after the talk. And so I was just like really far behind in general. Oh no! Oh no! Even though I like the sweepy games, I'll probably be here less in October. You said Luigi's Mansion will be Tuesdays, right? That's what I'm interested in, and we'll try to watch the most. Okay. That's perfectly fine. I just hope whenever you're around, even if it, like, whether it's Luigi's Mansion or something else, that you do enjoy them as well. Like, even if it's not your favorite game, I'm like hoping you enjoy the streams. And yes, Luigi's Mansion will be Tuesdays. Eugh. Let's go. Let's heckin' go. Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of like when to jump on that. Alright, alright, alright. Okay. Oh no, that was bad. That was real bad. That little last part was bad is what I mean. Just heck. I will say though, the only thing I'm really worried about is 3 games right now, and that's Dead Space 2, Outlast 2, and Layers of Fear 2, because I got stuck on all those games for Sweetpaper in the past. Well, their first games. I'm sure Dead Space 2 will actually be kind of rough because of the one difficulty that we're gonna have to beat. No! I messed it up. Oh, I see you're up to 350 now. Yeah. So, I don't know what exactly happened. I know a lot more people have been supporting me recently, which has been insane and ridiculous. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna say I don't, because I really do. But, like, we celebrated 300 just, like, maybe 2 or 3 days over a month ago. We're already at 350. That's honestly insane. And I have an idea for what I want to do for 400, and I'm actually having to ask a lot of people if, like, they want to do certain things. I just got to figure out what all I want to, like, play. But there will be another 12-hour stream, but it won't be the exact same as what we had before. I'm going to try to get people together and play like a couple hours of games with them. The only game I've really thought of right now is actually 2 games: is Monster Hunter World and Generations Ultimate, just to give me an excuse to play Monster Hunter again. But I want to play them specifically with people, and I want to kind of be like, hey, go show this person love and support, type of thing. Because, I mean, I really want to do that. Will people want to do that? I don't know. I hope they will. Ah. Professor Fitch, you gotta go. Alright, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, and I hope to see you again really soon. And have fun with Horizon, and hopefully you'll be able to stream more often. Thank you again, honestly, for stopping by and hanging out. It was nice seeing you again. Let's go! But yeah, I'm honestly hoping that maybe, just maybe, I can get some people to do some stuff. I think I can get Vivi to do Generations Ultimate. And I'm just gonna say this now. I'm hoping I get somebody else to do like World. But I can't really guarantee that. Because I don't know if they would want to do that. But I've also got to figure out some other games to play and like who I'd like to like goof off with in said games. Also, depending on the person, you'll see me change slightly, which I think y'all noticed that whenever I played on stream with, say, Vivi or Crown or Chaotic maybe. Actually, I don't think I ever changed too much with Chaotic. But I think y'all might have noticed that with Crown and Vivi. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. I didn't have any Monster Hunter games I can actually play. If I could play World, I don't think it has crossplay. It does not have crossplay. Oh gosh. I want to mention this. I don't know if this will actually be a thing that we do, because I know I'm going to want to play Monster Hunter Rise all the time, but at the same time, I don't know if I'll actually be able to do that. I might actually do something with Rise on stream. There we go. No! I'm considering getting Rise. You should. Rise is gonna be a lot of fun. But I'm legitimately thinking of getting Rise and streaming it. It'll be a birthday game for me. And as much as I think Monster Hunter Rise will take like a million hours, I might not have it on the weekend. I might have it like on a Wednesday or something. And at least like maybe beat the story. And then maybe have it go into a long-running time slot. I guess like CTR or Animal Crossing, where we're going to play it little by little after a certain point. And then we might also have it sprinkled throughout the week if people were like, hey, let's play. I don't know. And yes, I always am thinking ahead, even if it's way too far ahead. Y'all know this already. This should not be a surprise. There we go. Oh no. Hi, Ewer. How you doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Let's see. Kind of wanted to get Monster Hunter GU, but it seemed too late to get into. I still need to play it more. I thought about getting it on sale for 16, but I have much chance of getting to play with people if I get Rise near release, I think. More chance, not much. I get you. Rip, I'm off work early. Hype! Very nice. I was about to be like, I was about to ask if you were excited to go watch Brenda tonight, and I was like, wait, she doesn't stream tonight. I actually stopped in for a few minutes, and I kind of just like went to bed and tried to crash, and I couldn't crash. Not immediately, at least. I had to take care of a few things. One, I was hungry before going to bed, because I hadn't eaten in like hours. Oh, is she playing Pokemon? Yeah, she played some Pokemon last night. I know technically you can play it solo, but it seems like something I'd play a few hours and be done with that way. Yeah, I can see that. That's how I felt about it for so long, and then I played World with like a few people, and they all kind of dropped off early on. And then I ended up having to do everything solo, and I was like, I still like this a lot. I put over 800 hours into it. I thought it was 1,000, but since I started playing recently, I saw that it was 800. But now that I have people to play with, it's kind of like, alright, I want to play a lot more. I love World. I love Generation Ultimate. I don't know, it's easier for me to hop on the Xbox and play a game than it is for me to be like, alright, I'm going to hop onto the Switch and play this by myself. Ah. Luna, you want some love and attention, baby girl? Yeah. You're such a good, precious baby. But I think, honestly, we're going to be streaming Rise at launch. And hopefully, that'll be fun for us. I don't know. And hopefully, if we're getting Rise at launch, there might be a lot of people that will hop on and play. Come on. I'd like that, honestly. There we go. Whew. Also, I don't know why, I just thought of this and I thought it was like hilarious. But my friend Miriam, she said before that she can't watch a lot of streams. Not because she doesn't like them, but she just doesn't have a large enough attention span to watch them. And I saw her on last night whenever we were playing Animal Crossing on Twitch, and I was like, I wonder who she's watching. And I ended up asking her, like, hey, also, that's our best run so far. We can do this. Ow. But I ended up asking her, like, hey, how long did you watch Twitch? And she's like, 3 hours. And I was like, excuse me? And I was like, you don't... I'm saying this is a joke, of course, but I was like, you don't ever watch me for 3 hours, Smeaton. Thought we were friends, but I guess you don't even love me anymore. And she's like, well, Bloodhawk, you're not an anime chick. And I was like, you don't know this, you haven't even seen me. Anime Hawk confirms. Not actually confirmed, that is not actually what I am. Oh no, that was bad. But yeah, she said that, and I was just like, you don't have any proof of this. You've never seen me. I very much could be. I am not an anime chick, waifu, person, thing. I don't know what to put there. That is not me, though. She knows me as a pizza because I posted my quote-unquote picture before to her. And the picture I used was literally a pizza that had like a weird, like, derpy face on it. Well, dang, unfollowed. Tim Jira, I can't believe you've done this. I think, honestly, we can definitely do this. The only thing that scares me is that even though I took that shortcut, he was able to catch me like it was no big deal. Because I saw his ghost in that lab, and it was like, oh my gosh, how did he do this? Come on. There we go. Oh my gosh, I almost bounced onto it. I didn't even jump. Well dang, I followed. Not really. Good. Very good. You know what I want to stream, Pinjir, and I think of this game every time I talk to you. Because of obvious reasons. But, I want to play Dino Crisis 2. But I don't even know if I should count that as being a Spooktober game, because I think Dino Crisis 2 is when they started making it more action-y. Which is weird, because, like, it did really well, the first game did. Well, at least I thought the first game did really well. So I don't understand why they're like, we have to turn this to an action game. To be fair, they did that with Resident Evil as well at some point. So it's like, they were going to do it with Dino Crisis, well, if they did it with Resident Evil, of course they would have done it with Dino Crisis probably earlier. Dang it. Heck. Bamboozles Luna. Dino Crisis 2 is more an action game, but it's still very good. Would you still count it as a horror game? Because if you still count it as a horror game and I get the game, I'll wait till October to play it. But if it's not even really a horror game anymore, then I'll just play it whenever. But still, I have to actually get the game at some point. Ooh. There we go. No! Heck. Have you streamed Dino Crisis? Yes. You wouldn't count Dino Crisis 2 as a horror game, so what you're saying is I should just stream it whenever I get it. Yeah, I streamed Dino Crisis, what was it, 2 years ago, Pitjira? 2018's Halloween? I think that's right. I seem to remember actually talking with my ex about playing Dino Crisis and talking about wanting to play Dino Crisis 2 the following year, but that didn't happen. And I wouldn't have talked to her about it last October. What's different from the first then? From what I know they added action elements to Dino Crisis 2, but from what I understood, it was more of let's give you lots of guns and have you just fight the dinosaurs as if they're just actual normal enemies. Whereas Dino Crisis, you had very limited ammo, you had very limited like resources and stuff. But I think you can literally just buy everything and you get things based on how well you do against killing the enemies. I think. Because I have seen stuff on it, but it's been a long time. And I think things are slowly coming back to me now that I am actually talking about all of it. Uh-oh. Well, in Tomb Raider, you're shooting dinos. It's mostly action, very little puzzles compared to the first one. Okay. I mean, maybe shooting dinos in Tomb Raider, but I don't count Tomb Raider as a horror game. What I don't remember is the two-side tank controls. I mean, if it has tank controls, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think that's what you're implying, but I would rather there not be tank controls. And I will say, for the style of game that Dino Crisis 1 is, and the style of game that Resident Evil is, I feel like tank controls actually make it more, like, intense. Like, it actually helps with the scariness factor. because it's making it like slower movement based, and it's like, oh god, these things are faster than I am. I don't really have as fast a reaction as they do. Dang it. It's a bad thing in my book. But I don't like horror. I don't like horror games, but yeah, it helps. It's like being in a nightmare where you can't move, right? Exactly. And you don't have unlimited ammo, but you don't have to conserve it like the first game. But I remember you had the option of just buying things in that game, if I'm not mistaken. From what I could tell. Because like I said, I watched very little of it, and it's like slowly coming back to me. Dang, I really want to play Dino Crisis 2, and I want to see how bad 3 is, because I've heard nightmares about how bad 3 is. I think 3 went with the more horror approach again. But it does the same thing that every single horror movie does. That when they run out of ideas, where it's like, let's send the thing out to space. What platform are 2 and 3 on? Is 3 the last one? 3 is the last one. There's some side games, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Capcom has a series of light gun games, and I believe there's a couple light gun Dino Crisis games, or there are a couple where it kind of crosses over with another universe. But 2, I believe, is on the PS2. It might be on PS1. But Dino Crisis 3, I believe, is exclusive to the original Xbox. 2 is on PS1. Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was 1 or 2, but I thought Dino Crisis 2 was on one of the PlayStations. But yeah, I believe Dino Crisis 3 is actually exclusive to the original Xbox. And Dino Crisis is an experience, from what I can understand. Like, it's very bad in almost every aspect of the game. But I'll still play it. Also, I saw some people wondering like who Microsoft is going to buy, because apparently they're still in the market to buy another studio or another company, and they're apparently looking at Japanese studios right now. Which, I mean, okay, but I feel like Sony's got to make some sort of move soon on one of these companies. Forget if I got rid or sold it. Wait, oh, I had the OG Xbox for a bit from a thrift shop. The OG Xbox is really good. Yeah, Dino Stalker is a light gun game. Okay. I would like to play that too. Also, from Software, Capcom, Square Enix. Does Konami still exist? Namco Bandai? Dino Crisis was Capcom. But I think Eeyore is talking about who Microsoft's wanting to buy. I don't know who Microsoft's wanting to buy, but Phil Spencer, I believe, came out and said that they're still looking at other companies to buy up. They're not done. And they've been looking at Japanese studios. And I saw a rumor about possibly them buying out Sega. Which, if that's the case, that means Microsoft has a mascot. They have an actual platforming mascot. They got Sonic, if that happens. And I saw some people talking about, like, if they did that, Sony should probably get a studio or something. And somebody's like, Capcom, and I'm like, please don't be Capcom. Please don't be Capcom. I need my Monster Hunter. I need it. If they actually did buy Capcom before I got an Xbox, I'd be like, okay, I might need to get a PlayStation. Although Konami doesn't really do much these days. Oh, was a Dino Crisis character in any of the Marvel versus Tatsunoko versus fighting games? Why is Microsoft doing this? Because devs are desperate, or Microsoft is flush with cash, or... I think the reason why Microsoft is doing this is for a couple reasons. I think they want to fill out their first party lineup more, so people can't say, "Oh, Microsoft doesn't have any games," or "Xbox doesn't have any games." Xbox doesn't have any games. I think that's one thing they're trying to work on, and I think another thing they're trying to do is fill up Game Pass, because Game Pass, from what I understand, is making them a lot of money, and if they can get more people on Game Pass, they're getting more money every month through the subscription service. But I think those are like the two reasons why they're doing it. I don't like, the first one is just like a stupid little throw-in thing. Like, I don't know if they're actually doing it because of that, but I think it's mostly due to the Game Pass. They're making a lot of money from Game Pass, and they're probably thinking if we get more stuff, we're gonna get more people buying into it. So they want to be the Netflix of games, pretty much. That's pretty much what they're doing. Also, I can't wait for the Doom Halo crossover that we all have been wanting for millions of years. Maybe not millions, but for a while now. Come on. Oh no. No, that was bad. I don't recall anyone from Dino Crisis being in any of the Versus games, but I could be wrong. Doom and Minecraft, yes. Or Disney Plus or whatever. I don't know which is doing better. I don't use any of them. I don't really need it. I would like Disney Plus, because there's a lot of Disney movies I wouldn't mind watching again. Disney has some good movies. I'll say that. I didn't watch their shows too often, besides like Darkwing Duck, Gargoyles, and like Tailspin. I think I watched Tailspin. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. But I do like their movies a lot. Mighty Ducks. I forgot about the Mighty Ducks. Microsoft could make and invest interesting multi-game worlds together. Finally, like a Smash or Mario Kart or MOBA or whatever. Yeah. Microsoft is getting closer to a point where I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing a Microsoft Smash Brothers game. But I feel like it'd have the same problem that Sony had with it. Which, this is just my personal opinion, but I think Smash Brothers works so well because most of the characters feel like they fit together in the same world. Like, a lot of those characters feel like they fit together in the same world. Okay, there's of course going to be some outliers. There's, oh god. There's of course going to be a few that don't really fit in. Like, you have Snake in there, you have... Actually, Snake's really one that comes to mind that actually doesn't really fit. Because he's more realistic, but a lot of them are very cartoony and it feels like they could just be together. And then, if you went and did I guess I'll say Halo Smash. If you went and did the Microsoft Smash Brothers thing, like Sony did, then you have characters like Master Chief and Marcus Phoenix alongside Blinks the Time Sweeper and Banjo-Kazooie, and they don't really fit together visually, if that makes any sense. I feel like Sony had that problem too, because they had like Kratos from God of War and Rapper the Rapper together. Like, sure, Smash has a lot more characters in it, but most of them feel like they could meet each other in their own universes. Like Bayonetta, yeah. Microsoft actually bought Gears of War from Epic whenever they were splitting off. Microsoft owns the Gears of War franchise. Nintendo has a more cohesive style like Disney or Blizzard. Exactly. And the weird thing is, even though Banjo and Kazooie weren't actually Nintendo characters, they still feel like they fit in. Even with their big old googly ass. Dang, I like Banjo and Kazooie. I want to get better with them in Smash. Come on. There we go. There we go, yes. Whew. Come on. You know what I actually kind of wish? I know we're probably never going to get another Blinks game. But, if Microsoft did buy Sega, I would like it if they would at least put Blinks in the Sonic universe. Since, the person that created Sonic the Hedgehog also created Blinks. If you're not going to do, like, if they actually own Sega, I think they should at least do that. As weird as that might end up looking. Because I know some people like Blinks for his, like, meme status. But I actually genuinely enjoyed the game whenever I played it on stream last year. And I still want to get a hold of 2 and play it on stream. I think PlayStation All-Stars problem was this felt like a cash grab. It really did feel like a cash grab, and I will say another thing for PlayStation All-Stars. It didn't help how they had the battle system set up, because they're like, we have to be different than Smash. We have to be so different than Smash. Which, don't get me wrong, they had a good idea, I think, with the supers. I think the supers themselves were poorly executed, but they should have also had you, like, given you a way to eliminate people, like, through knocking them off the stage, like Smash did as well. I think they could have done a lot better if they would have given more time to the supers and developed, like, fleshed them out a bit more, and gave you the option to knock somebody off the map for a KO. Let's see. To know, I thought the problem was the game mechanics didn't seem well made. They weren't really well made either. Also, I will say with the whole cash grab thing, it did not help that a lot of the characters were just there as a, hey, this character has a game out. Hey, this character has a game out. Because he had a Big Daddy from Bioshock, which, why? You had Dante. You had new Dante from the DMC reboot. Because, hey, that game just came out. You had Raiden from Metal Gear Rising. Like, I know it's from the other Metal Gear Solid games, but like, it's there to promote Metal Gear Rising. They had, I think Isaac was DLC, but Isaac from Dead Space was in there as, like, oh, he's getting another game. And it's just like, it's very much like we're gonna try to make you buy into these other properties. Oh gosh. Well, Billy Hatcher isn't in Sonic Universe, or is he? I don't think Billy Hatcher is. I didn't know there was a Blinks too. BRB. Alright, Eeyore. Have fun doing the things that you're doing. We'll be here trying to beat this track, or we might actually beat it. I gotta say though, I really do want to play Blinks too. From what I understand, it's super easy compared to the first one. But you can also play it in co-op, and if you can play it in co-op, I might as well try to do that. Because, I mean, why wouldn't I? Oh jeez, oh jeez. That was a bit of a jump. I feel like I needed to do that jump the way I did. No! Dang it. Struggling so hard on this. We can do this though. I heckin' believe in us. But seriously, if I can get a hold of Blink 2, we'll probably stream it. I might do a single player run, and I might also just wait until I can do a co-op run and then go for the co-op run. And then complete it on my own if the other person doesn't want to go through and actually complete it. Come on. There we go. The only character that rubbed me the wrong way in Smash was Joker. Like, oh, Switch can have Persona 5, but we can't have Persona 5, but we can promote it in Smash anyway. Lol. I get that. And I will say, I know that's the same way in Smash. Like, they're using the DLC spots for third-party characters to promote the games. I get that, I understand it. But it wasn't as obvious, I guess, as it is in PlayStation All-Stars either. Because, I mean, yeah, you have Joker. Like, he's not even on the Nintendo platform. Yeah, he's not on a Nintendo platform besides that game, is he? Smash. They're promoting it for other platforms. What was it? We still don't know exactly why I put Banjo in, unless they literally are just like, hey, people have wanted Banjo for a while, let's give them what they want. Because I don't see them doing a new Banjo game anytime soon, honestly, sadly. Which is weird, honestly, because you would think with how well the Crash and Spyro remakes went, Microsoft would be like, oh, why don't we do that with Banjo? People would like Banjo, wouldn't they? No, not at all. I know for sure I never once thought about having Banjo come back. Nope, not in a million years. Dang it. Yeah, Dragon Quest XI Hero, sure he wasn't picked for promotion. Most likely, but at least you could pick hero skins, yeah, from Dragon Quest 1, 4, and 8. I wouldn't. No new Banjo game ever again, please. What do you mean, Pimp Jira? In fact, let's destroy the every existing copy of Banjo, Kazooie, and Tooie. No! Pimp Jira, who hurt you? Who did this to you? Who made you want to destroy all the carts for Banjo, Kazooie, and Tooie? I need to know. Let's go. But seriously, we're definitely getting better at this track, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. I don't understand why Microsoft didn't look at Crash and Spyro's remakes and say, you know, we should do this with Banjo, Kazooie, and Tooie. You know what I actually wish would have happened? I wish that would have actually happened. I wish they would have remade Banjo, Kazooie, and Tooie, as well as remaking Banjo, Kazooie, Grunty's Revenge, and actually like making it like look like the remakes for Banjo, Kazooie, and Tooie. Like, had it been like fully 3D remake, like fully remade for 3D, instead of it being an isometric platformer. I would have been all over that. I would have been so all over that. Because I mean, I want more Banjo-Kazooie. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted that for so long, and I know I'm not the only one. That Persona 5 troll, grrr. I didn't mean it. If someone comes after my Banjo games, they have to get through me. Speaking of Banjo games, after we beat Banjo-Tooie, there's a good chance we'll play Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. And I have all the DLC for that. I'm gonna need somebody to race me online. Come on. Also, again, I don't hate Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. I know a lot of people don't like it. But in my opinion, it is not a bad game. It is a bad Banjo-Kazooie game, but otherwise it's a good game. Man, Mario 64 is way better than Banjo-Kazooie. It's all a matter of personal opinion. I actually prefer Kazooie and Tooie to Mario 64. Like, I legitimately do. It's all a matter of opinion. I don't know about any DLC, though. I didn't play it much. Nuts and Bolts is, like I said, it's a fun game, but it's not a fun Banjo-Kazooie game. It had been so long since we actually got a Banjo-Kazooie game that that kind of felt like a slap in the face to anybody that had been waiting that long. If that would have came alongside Banjo 3, that'd have been a whole new story. I actually feel like if it came out with an actual Banjo 3, things would have been a lot different. I feel like people would have liked it a lot more. Come on. Come on. Give me this perfect boost. No. Heck. Mario 64 is fun to play from the beginning because you can long jump and backflip and do so without having to talk to them all again and again to get your kit. Here's the thing. I actually really enjoy the characters in the world of Banjo-Kazooie, and I think that's what actually sells it for me more than Mario 64. Especially Tooie. I love talking and interacting with all the characters in that world. I legitimately do. You'd rather play a new Conker game? To be fair, Conker, I'd say, is more along the lines of a cinematic platformer. It's a different style of platformer compared to Banjo or Mario in general. Oh, that's clever humor. Oh. I would still think that it was a good Banjo game if it weren't 2020, we still didn't have Banjo 3. Yeah. Those guys had more freedom with Conker. Oh yeah, they did. They definitely had a lot of freedom with that game. The bad thing is in the actual Rare Replay video where it had interviews with all of them. Maybe not everybody that worked on it, but it had interviews with a lot of the people that we know behind Conker. They mentioned like they couldn't do another sequel. Like they couldn't do a sequel to it now because of how their humor's changed and how times have changed and everything. They're like, we could never pull off what we did back then. And if we did attempt to do it again, it'd be completely different than what people would actually want from Conker. And there's no point in just trying to go back to it. Because he's like, we're all different people now than we were 20 years ago. And all of our humor and our style has changed, so it's like it wouldn't be what people expected or what people really wanted if we were ever to go back to it. Aw. Yeah, they couldn't pull off the Banjo. Remember Conker's Bad Fur Day was supposed to be 12 Toes Conker's Quest. And they were so burnt out and sick of doing kids' platforms, they had to make Conker instead. Actually, that's not true. That's not entirely true. There's a video with them talking about the evolution of Conquer, and Chris Seaver, the voice behind Conquer, actually mentioned that whenever they were making Conquer, the Banjo team, because they were two separate teams, they weren't the same team in Rare. Apparently, also, I'll split off just a second to say this. I think Rare said back whenever they were making games in the late 80s, early 90s, well, actually late 80s, throughout the 90s, that they had three different teams working on different projects. And for Banjo-Kazooie and Conquer, they were actually being worked on at the same time. Like, Banjo and Kazooie, the original Banjo-Kazooie, was being worked on while they were working on Conquer's 12 Tales. And Chris Seaver mentioned that whenever Banjo-Kazooie released, they saw that and they thought, crap, they're blowing what we were working on out of the water. We have to do something different about this. And they started, I think that's when they put Chris Seaver in charge, and he started changing the direction of Conqueror's 12 Tales to Bad Fur Day. And that's kind of where Bad Fur Day started, but it also did start too because people were saying that they could only do kiddie games. All they could do was kiddie platformer games. Like, it's a mix of both of them. But like whenever they first started changing it to Bad Fur Day was whenever their team had saw what the Banjo team had did with Banjo and Kazooie. Also, I know there's a lot of messages. I will get to them very soon. Come on. Aw. Okay. Yeah, I saw the video, but that was a long time ago. Yeah, that video that came out was like a few years ago at this point. They did Jetpack. I forgot some of them from the Specky days. That was when they're called Ultimate Play the Game. I want to actually go through and play all of their old games, because I never have done that, and Rare is and has always been my favorite company. They've made a lot of my childhood favorite games, and I absolutely love a lot of the things they've worked on in the past and so far in the present. I'm not going to say I'm a fan of everything they made, because I'm not the biggest fan of everything they made. I'm not a fan of those Kinect games at all. Well, I wouldn't say I'm not a fan of all of it. I'd rather they not be Kinect games. Honestly, Also, some of their older games, I'm trying to think, it's like the Black Witch. I think that's what it was called. It's like Black Witch. Crap, I can't think of the other two names. I think I remember Black Witch because it's the name of the ship in Sea of Thieves. But there's actually a pirate in Sea of Thieves whose name is Arthur Pendragon, and it's based off, like, his character is based off the Arthur Pendragon from their 3 games. And, like, I believe he talks about the events of those 3 games that his character's in the 80s. And it really makes me want to go back and play them. Like, I know those are like very dated games, but I'd like to at least experience them at some point. I would have liked another Blast Corps because there aren't really any other games like it either. Yeah, it's a very unique game. I can't think of any other game like that. So out of Kazooie, Tooie, DK64, Conquer, Jet Force, Gemini, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Blast Corps, Dinosaur Planet, do you know which were made by the same team? Oh gosh. I've not played the Outfox series. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Don't take what I'm saying here as fact, because I really don't know. Like, the other stuff I'm pretty sure I know, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think Kazooie, Tooie, 64, and Dinosaur Planet are the same team. I think. I could be mistaken. I know GoldenEye Perfect Dark are the same team. And I want to say Blast Corps and Jet Force Gemini are the same team. I could be 100% mistaken on that, but I believe that's the case. I really want to say Kazooie 2 and DK64 are the same team. Then Conquer, Blast Corps, and Dinosaur Planet, because I think there's 3 teams. Or it might just be Conquer and Blast Corps. No. I've already forgotten what I've done. What was that? I have a lot of video game history books I could go through more. I wouldn't mind some video game history books. A long time ago, yes. Don't think I ever beat it, though. Oh, wait. Do you ever play Body Harvest? I've heard of Body Harvest, but I've never played it myself. Crown? How are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Hi, Bloodhawk. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I'm having a pretty good day. Having a pretty heckin' good day. We're just still trying to work on this. We've been talking about like old games and like rares, like multiple teams working on games at the same time. Also, I will mention for the whole rare thing, I don't remember who it was. One of the members in that video that used to work at Rare said they think the reason why their games were so good was because they weren't trying to do better than other companies. They were trying to do better than the people they worked with. And they said they think that their friendly competition with people they knew actually made their games better, because they weren't just going up against some faceless entity. They were going up against people they knew, type of thing. Body Harvest isn't really too much like Blast Corps, but maybe the closest thing I could think of on the N64. I don't know, really. I don't really know too much about it. Getting off work early tonight. Oh, nice. When should you be getting off, Crown? I need to know. I don't need to know, but I'm curious. Come on. Whew. Let me go past this heck. I didn't mean to do that way, but hey, it happened. Aw. Got about another hour of it, or so of it. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. That's not bad at all. I was thinking of Hybrid Heaven for some reason. Body Harvest is that early Rockstar game. I did also play it. I don't know about that either. Got Fox Series is the only Smash Brothers Power Stone precursor I can think of. It's super awesome. Play it through MAME. Really? I'll have to look at that at some point. Maybe a bit more than that. I'll be off at 11 your time. Okay, so really not too far off. Yeah, they were DMA or something, I forget. I think it was DMA. You gotta get back. Alright, Crown. Have a wonderful rest of your day at work. I'll talk to you soon. It was a rental though, so I don't remember much about it. That team went on to make GTA 3, I think. Really? Okay. I'm gonna have to look up the studios. And also, whenever I was like trying to figure out who made what, like who worked on what team, I was trying to think of the people that were in the videos for each specific game, because like the teams seemed to be very specific. Like the teams didn't really rotate them. It didn't seem like they all stayed with their own like little group. So I was like trying to think of who all I saw and where I saw them at and who I saw them with. Oh no! I literally lost it right there. Heck. Well, I remember Hybrid Heaven. I don't know anything about that. And I feel really bad that I don't know anything about it. Come on. Ooh. I know we can pull this off. We're getting better because I've gotten farther today more consistently than I have in the past. So we could actually totally do this today. Yes. Okay. We got this. Whew. Come on. That was a weird landing. That was a very weird landing on my part. Let's see. Leveled up left arm, left leg separately. Wait, you leveled them up separately? It was an action RPG from Konami, only on N64. I never got far into it. Really? I'm actually really curious about that now, because that sounds interesting. Same here, I wouldn't mind playing it again. I should see what it goes for. Remember it had a high-res mode or something that made the game go down to 12 frames per second. It's the worst way. Because the N64 needed those high-res graphics. Aiden Chronicles on the N64 also had high-res mode. I remember that. I still need to play Aiden Chronicles on the N64 on stream at some point so y'all can see how bad that game is. While I torture myself trying to 100% it. Well, I need to see if I can get Brenda to play it. I'm sure she would love that game. Oh no. Oh, Aiden Chronicles. Oh yeah, it's one of the only N64 games to support widescreen. Aiden Chronicles supports widescreen. Jet Force Gemini supports widescreen. What else is there? I'm sure there's more. Let's go. It did have very interesting, unique mechanics. Wait, Hybrid Heaven had high-res mode as well, because you mentioned that. I was desperate for an N64 RPG, but I could tell that one, but would love to see someone else play it. I've played it to the end before. It's a 40-hour game. There are no load screens, and you can go from one corner of the world to the next in 4 hours. It is a big world for an N64 game. I've actually heard people call it the Morrowind of N64 games. I'm not even lying. 12 frames per second is pretty normal for the N64, though. It probably dropped to like 5. Love the N64, but the games are not known for their high frame rates. They're really not. Spoiler alert, Lucky is really a werecat in the Shapeshifter Witness Protection Program. Oh, really? I need to keep that in mind. Also, hi Mahap, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Let's go. Basically, if the world is interesting environments, I really want to see it. I get that. I will say though, you don't really get a lot of interesting environments in that game until later on, which is a shame. But it is an actual really interesting world. And the reason why I wanted to play it and beat it after I got it, because I'd never beaten it until a couple years ago, was it was a hard game. It was a hard game, and it was a very badly made game. Like the RPG, like the turn-based fights can take 5 to 10 minutes. it plays like Quest 64 but slower. But the story is what held me into that game. Like, after you get past the very, very, very boring first 4 or 5 hours, the story starts to pick up a lot. And they did a lot of things that you wouldn't see in... I don't think you would see in games until a couple of generations later. They actually did a bunch of things in that game that could have been really well done. And they're really, like, original ideas at the time. At least I feel like they're original, because I had never seen anything like it at the time. But it's just poorly executed. And I feel like if they would have waited and possibly made that for the GameCube, PS2, original Xbox, or maybe made it, like, worked on it until the next generation of consoles or something, it could have been something special. It legitimately could have been. But instead, they got a game that just wasn't really polished in any respect. They had a lot of great ideas, in my opinion, but it just was not executed properly at all. The only thing that is really well done, I feel like, is the story, but you don't even get it to the point where it's like, oh, this is a good story, until like 5-6 hours in. And that, even then, it takes a little bit of time for it to start, like, getting really good. I actually occasionally look up Aiden Chronicles to see if there's been, like, anything about it, because I'm like, I would love to see the company that made it, or the people that made it, come back and, like, try to breathe new life into it, like, bring it back for modern consoles and actually fix the problems that it had. And I saw somebody that worked on the original game wanted to do a Kickstarter and bring it back, but he was like, I stopped trying to do that because I didn't know if anybody really wanted to see that come back. But he never tried it. He just, like, talked about it. It was that one. Let's see. Oh gosh, how much did I miss? Basically, if the world's... I never played Aiden Chronicles. I did play Quest. So, I'll say this. You know how the battles in Quest are set up? Where you have a circle, and then you have your own mini-circle in there that you can move in? Imagine if that was 4 times the size. Like, the circle you stand in, the main one, was like 4 to 5 times the size. But the circle you had to move in was the same size. You start in one corner, the enemies start in the other corner. You'll have 5 or 6 turns where you're just trying to get closer to each other. And then you fight. The enemies will try to run away or back off, and you'll go try to get closer to fight them. And when you defeat them, if there's more than 4, the next enemies will spawn on the opposite end of the map. And so you have to walk all the way to the other side of the map to keep fighting them. Pimp Jira, thank you for the 200 bits. You didn't have to do that, but I really appreciate it. I played that game. I remember it being a 64 open world game where I got super lost right away. It was out in fantasy. It is fantasy. Nice. I remember that game a lot, but I can never remember the name. Just see if that's the one I'm thinking of. Is it? That sounds a lot like the game I can never remember the name of. Nice. Glad I popped in. I have been wanting to stream it for a while, but I don't know if I have the patience for the game. Like, I actually don't know if I have the patience for it, and that's saying something. The Outfoxies, not Outfoxers. Oh, okay. Outfoxies is a Japan-only Namco 2D fighter from 1995. Weapon items show up, and you can pick them up like Smash or Power Stone. And the stage is very dynamic, like collapsing or flooding buildings. Really? Okay. That's really interesting. Not that it had much competition, but best in 64 RPG is Ogre Battle. Ogre Battle, I think, is the only RPG on the N64 I have not played. I think. Really, what original ideas? Seems like Aiden Dev, H2 Interactive, it was the only game under that name. So, like, this, yeah, I might not remember. I'm trying to think now. But I remember, like, how many branching paths there were for the story. Like, they're not actually for the main story, but like for the characters, subplots, and everything. I remember there being a character in the game that you could like have in your party, but at the end of the game they'd actually betray you, and you would be down a party member in the final fight if you accepted them in your fight with, or accepted them in your party. There was people that you could actually bring somebody to your party that I believe stole your items at some point and just left you. That's the only thing that's kind of mine right now, but I know there's other things, and I can't remember what they are right now. Sounds annoying. The whole fighting was very annoying in that game. There's a game called Pigs of War that's like 3D worms that's really fun. It could be a fun version of a battle mode for an RPG. I've never heard of Pigs of War. And that was on PS1, right? Yeah, I never played Ogre Battle, not in a tactics game. I never played a tactics game. Not yet, at least. Hogs of War was. Okay. You should play it, in my opinion, anyway. I think you'd have to go to a VC route if you ever got it, though. Physical cart probably isn't cheap. I think it's on Wii U Virtual Console anyway. Okay. You said VC at first, and I was like, voice chat? What do I need to go on there on the voice chat for? Do I need to buy the game with my voice? If so, I can try to. But, if I think of any more of the Aiden Chronicle stuff, I'll say it, because, like, it's been a while since I played it. Like, I remember being kind of amazed at a few of the things they tried to do at the time, or a few of the things that were at least talked about. Oh, jeez. Nope. Well, when I say talked about, I mean, there's a few things in that game I was surprised they even mentioned. That I was really, like, surprised about, especially for the time. If I'm not mistaken. Nah, I'll actually save that for whenever it happens. Because I will stream it at some point, I just don't know when yet. But yeah, I'll probably play it at some point, and I'll regret my life choices. They sprinkled things so much around that game. They wanted to do a sequel to it. They legitimately wanted to do a sequel. I remember whenever I was told, hey, go back to where your adventure started type thing. You're needed back at the castle. I remember literally there, I was like, you know what? I've learned playing this game that if you explore, you can get random cutscenes to trigger. And I remember one specifically on the beach at the end of the game, where you met this guy that you meet throughout the story, and you think he's just some random guy, but he's actually some bigger entity in the world of Aiden Chronicles, that is. And he kind of screws you over at a certain point, and a few things happen. But, he mentions things, and he talks about how things are going to be changing, and it seems very much like he's setting up a sequel. It sounds like the way certain things that he says, I remember make me go, okay, they're setting something up here, but we're never going to see what this is, because nobody played the game. But I remember actually legitimately enjoying the story, and that was the driving force for me to continue playing it. And I remember, too, I forced myself to sit down a few years ago and play it, because I was like, I own this. It's one of the few N64 games I haven't beaten. I want to see what this game has to offer. There was a lot of frustrating moments in that game, too, don't get me wrong. I remember the frustrating moments more than I do the good moments, because a lot of the good moments were like, oh, this could have been so much better if they would have tweaked these mechanics a little better, or this could have been amazing if they would have fixed how the camera works here, or if they just did this or that. It had a lot of flaws that held it back, and it's a shame. It really is. Also, I know there's messages. I will respond to them, I promise. Okay. You could play some Mario Party mini games with your voice in 6 and 7. Maybe that's what I really meant. Maybe I could do that. If you ever want to regret some life choices, got that Bruce Lee game on the OG Xbox. I don't have that, not yet. But like I said, I plan on actually collecting for the original Xbox at some point. I looked it up, and that's totally the game. I was remembering. I want to play it so bad now. Say I don't have my N64. Pidgeot, not Pidgeot. Mahath, if you actually get the game and you play it, please keep your sanity. Please keep your sanity, Mahath. I honestly think if I do stream it, that'll be the closest y'all actually see me getting angry. I might actually get angry. I will say that my anger does not last long, so it might be an interesting thing for y'all to see. Maybe, I don't know. Come on. Oh no, I messed it up. Let's see. I played a bit of the Jackie Chan games on PS1, and it's pretty awesome. It was actually pretty awesome. Really. I remember seeing some gameplay on the PS1 Jackie Chan game. Jackie Chan game is fun. Stuntmaster. Yeah, that one. I wanted to buy it to have it again, but it's like $60 now, unfortunately. Really? Pretty impressive fight choreography. Wow, really? That must have been why I sold it. Yeah, I don't know when, but it got up there in price. That's insane. It was back when I was thrift store rating the resell. Really? I need to go to like some sort of thrift store or something and see if they have any games. But at the same time, I don't know when I'll get a chance to do that. I also want to go back to my old game store again. I haven't been there in all this year. Since maybe like January or February. I don't even know if they're open yet still. I think they're actually still closed and doing everything online now. To keep their employees safe. Let's heckin' keep going. No! I don't know about your region. $60 isn't that bad, but it's somewhat shallow beat 'em up, and platforming is fun, but not the type of game you'd want to spend more than $20 to $30 for. The LA area was crap for thrift stores. I don't really know of any like major thrift stores around here that might deal with video games. I really don't. Let's go. Let's get this to work for us. Also, I hate to admit this. Hey, wait, what was I about to say? I've done this so many times today, and I've done it so many times the past week, and I think it's because of my sleep. Where I start to say something, and I'm just like, wait a minute. What was I about to say? Heck. You don't have Goodwill? I forgot where you live. We do have Goodwill. We have a few. I haven't actually been into Goodwill in a long time. California. I was about to say Carolina. I'm in South Carolina. California's thrift stores are like 4 times plus more expensive than that here. Really? Some thrift stores around here sell video games, but they're always at eBay prices. Ugh. I don't like the fact that you said they're eBay prices. Come on. Let's heckin' do this. Ooh. Let's make it out of here. This guy, Al. I don't know why I said Al there. All the Goodwills around here have games. Really? Okay. We have a lot of independent ones. Okay. I'll have to look around and see what we got. It's been a while since I've actually gone out looking for video games or anything. Let's do this. Oof. Oh, that is actually really good. We actually got jump boost off that. Okay. No! Dang it. That'll have to be it for tonight, though, because it's already 10 o'clock. I gotta start being quieter. So we'll see if we got somebody to raid. I know it is, like... I know we didn't, like, stream too long, but, like, I gotta. Who do we want to raid? We're gonna get raid Chaotic. It's definitely not chatting with you. Hold on, let's see. We're gonna raid Chaotic. So Chaotic is trying to get affiliate. He needs at an average of 3 viewers. Let's go show him some love and help him out. Let's see. We have a lot of independent ones and other chains like Salvation Army, Union Gospel Mission, Value Village, St. Vincent de Paul's. I've only heard of Salvation Army. Yeah, rip stream. Nice chatting. It was definitely nice chatting with you. Thank y'all for stopping by and hanging out. Pedro, thank you for the 200 videos. I really appreciate it. Y'all never have to do anything like that. Hope to finish Thunderstruck, but instead got Thunderstruck. Hopefully next time. I think we will get it next time. We're actually getting closer each time. So Monday should be the final run on Thunderstruck, hopefully. Oh cool, I don't feel like watching anymore, but I'll keep the stream open. Yes, keep the stream open, lurk, because he's getting close. All he needs is 3 concurrent viewers. And he has, well, he has affiliate. Thank y'all again for stopping by, lurking and chatting. I hope y'all have an amazing day, an amazing night, and I can't wait to see y'all again very soon. Goodbye, everybody. I love you all.